up, guys? We're back out here at Thomas Mountain Road with the F900GS. For those of you that didn't watch my last video, this is my new bike. I traded in the 1300GS for. So probably do like a little review on it later. I got about 1,500 miles on it so far, and I'm really loving this bike, man. It's such a sweet bike. So yeah, I'm gonna hit this trail, boys. See you guys on the other side. All right, let's get to it, boys. Back out here again, guys. Thomas Mountain Road. Got a couple different camera angles going on, so hopefully this is better than the way I usually have it set up. We'll see. I'm gonna try to sit more as much as I can. But yeah, just so much more comfortable standing. You know, it doesn't feel as skittish, the soft parts. Beautiful Sunday today. Usually I don't get to ride on Sundays because I work, but yeah, it's been slow, so they went ahead and gave me the day off today. So I decided to come out here and get back after it, because why not, right? What else are you gonna do? Get out here and ride some dirt, baby. And I forgot my glasses and my goggles today, so hopefully there's not a lot of bugs. It's pretty overcast, beautiful day. It's like 65 degrees out here right now, 68. It's showing on my TFT. Do a little bit of that. That big log. And here come the bugs. Guess I'm not going to be able to ride without the visor down. Starting to get a little bit used again to riding off pavement. Obviously so this is my second time out here on this bike, so I got to get used to two things again, and that is, well, I got to get used to riding off pavement, and I got to get used to this bike. how does this bike compare to the 1300 GS? It's hard to say. I've been asked that already by some friends, and I really can't, you know, it's tough. This bike just feels more, it gives you more confidence, I feel. Obviously I'm not like a really good dirt rider, so for me it's hard to really point out the details or the minute differences as far as how it compares to the 1300. The only thing, like I said, the only thing I can say is that it's more confidence inspiring. Something about how much thinner this bike feels than the 1300. It's hard. It's really hard to explain it. But this bike just feels more comfortable, like it belongs out here, versus the 1300. And there's not really much I don't like about this bike, honestly. On my last video, I commented a couple things about this bike that other people don't like. And that was mainly two things. And depending on, I guess there's a few things. There's a few things. So on road, people seem to complain about wind buffeting, which I touched last time. And yeah, this bike isn't gonna be a great tourer, right? It's not gonna be like meant, in my opinion, to go on like long road trips or highway miles and whatnot, because yeah, unless you upgrade the windscreen or whatever. But the stock windscreen, you get a lot of wind buffeting, and I'm okay with that, because as I've said before, I didn't buy this bike to do long highway miles. That's why I traded in the GS, because I felt like I wasn't using it for its intended purposes, which were, you know, long roads and interstate rides and touring and whatnot. Because I honestly feel that's where the 1300 GS shines, is as a road tourer, as like a grand tour or whatever you want to call it. But even then, as I commented in my last video, it's not the best for it, right? You'd be more comfortable even on a 1250 GS, I feel like, just the way the 1250 is built. The 1300 has a very it has a weird seating position, in my opinion. It's kind of like aggressive for a touring bike, like your knees, the angle of your knees and stuff. I don't know, it's like, again, it's, I don't know how to articulate it, but it's just not that comfortable after a few hours. Not as comfortable. I mean, it's a comfortable bike, but not as comfortable as better suited long mile road bikes. Like, again, I always bring up the Honda Goldwing, because that's kind of the king, the standard, the golden standard of touring. Or like even what's that Ducati, the I forget that Ducati, but y'all know which one I'm talking about. The one that looks like an angry chicken. And I don't know why I can't think of the name right now, but yeah, that bike would make a better tourer as well. And so yeah, that's one of the other things about this bike people complain about is obviously the windscreen, the wind buffeting, and then the seat. The stock seat is very hard, I'm not gonna lie, but it's perfect for this type of riding, and that's what I think this bike is mainly focused on, is off pavement, off-road riding. Obviously it's not as capable as a true enduro bike for like real hardcore single track off-road trails, at least not in my hands. You obviously want a lighter bike for that kind of situation, but this is a great bike to get you to and from these type of trails. Now I've ridden multiple times 2-hour rides on this bike already, 3-hour rides, and I'm comfortable enough on the seat. For me it's a non-issue, but everyone's butt's different, right? So a lot of people definitely bash on the seat, but in my opinion, as I've said already, is this bike isn't meant for comfort. You want to be comfortable, buy those other bikes I mentioned, the Goldwing, the 1250, the 1300. You want to ride off pavement and have some fun, get this bike. Tires I'm running are Dunlop Trail Max Missions. This bike came with street tires when I bought it. I forget the brand, I'm pretty sure they were like Michelin or something, but they were super smooth and excellent street tires, and I actually enjoyed riding this bike on those tires on the street through the twisties and whatnot. This bike handles great. Phenomenal road bike as well. But I think it's an excellent commuter. I commute on it. As y'all know, I don't own a car. I think I've mentioned that before in my videos. And I use motorcycles as my main form of transportation. But I'm lucky enough to live in a part of Southern California where it hardly ever rains. It probably rains like, God, maybe like 10 days a year, if that. So very dry climate where I live, very hot. That's the only real big issue where I live, is the heat. It reaches temps of about 120 in some days, some points of the year. On average it's about 115, 112 in the dead of summer. So yeah, very hot. But you know, you learn to deal with it. I'd rather deal with the heat than snow. Obviously you can't ride a motorcycle in the snow. I mean, you can, but it's not ideal. Upgrades I've done to the bike, if you see my last video, I've done a few, not really upgrades but add-ons, I guess, because the trophy edition of this bike comes with an aluminum skid plate and lower crash engine guards, crash guards, whatever you want to call them. And the one I got, this one, the Sao Paulo yellow, comes with none of that. I mean, it comes with the skid plate, but it's like a very weak, small plastic skid plate. It just basically protects the oil pan a little. It didn't come with the crash bars, but I got those crash bars, OEM crash bars that come on the trophy. And then I've added the bark busters. Gotta have bark busters. And I've also added I deleted the resonator, and I added I replaced it with an Aero Link mid pipe. And that, to me, honestly, the bike sounded great stock without the mid pipe with the resonator box. But it's such a cheap upgrade. It's such a cheap and easy upgrade to do that I figured why not, you know, what the heck. The mid pipe I ordered online. I got it for like $115, $120 shipped to my house. And I was able to go ahead. Got a little traffic jam here, boys and girls, a little traffic jam. So I was able to install that mid pipe by myself at home. What's up, brother?
How do you like that 900?
Dude, it's fantastic, bro. I love this thing, man. All right, let's see if I don't hurt myself coming down from this too bad. I guess just punch it. Yep, there we go. All right, little traffic jam there, guys. Sorry about that. Nice little convoy going on. It's a good thing they weren't going too fast, because that road is pretty narrow, that piece where I was at, and got caught up in that traffic. So, as I've told y'all before, my plan is to downsize. So I'm kind of going the opposite way of most guys, right? Where they start on small bikes and go up to bigger bikes. Well, I'm doing it backwards, and I started on a big bike, the 1300GS, and I'm working my way down. And eventually, I'm not sure how small I want to go as far as displacement goes. I just want a really lightweight motorcycle to do this, and you know, just take off pavement and have fun with. So eventually, I haven't really decided yet, because I'm still a long ways away from that day. But ideally, I wouldn't mind like a Norden 701, I believe, or the KTM 690. And heck, I mean, there's a lot of new bikes coming out that that meet a lot of my criterias. Like the new KTM, the 390 Enduro R, or even the Adventure R, I wouldn't mind. So yeah, I eventually want to work my way down to a lighter, more capable off-pavement bike that I can thrash around and beat up and won't be too concerned with. This BMW, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I do not want to excuse my language, I do not want to mess up this bike. I want to keep this bike. I know it's wishful thinking, but I want to keep this bike as nice as possible, because I love this bike, but I'm not sure if it'll be my long-term forever bike yet. Haven't decided that yet. You know, that remains to be seen. But as of now, I'm enjoying my time with it, and I have to keep it for at least 2 years, because I am financing this bike, and it wouldn't make sense for me to trade it in for anything else before that 2-year mark. So yeah, no hardcore single track or really any type of tracks that I've never ridden before. I'm gonna try to ride stuff that I know and am familiar with, and stuff that other people have ridden and know aren't too difficult. Because I'm not a professional by any means. I'm definitely a novice, very novice dirt rider, and I'm sure that comes off in the videos by the way I ride. Hopefully this new GoPro angle is fine for you guys. Because yeah, I kind of angled the camera a little bit down more, so you get a little better view of the dash and the handlebars. But we'll see. I think a lot of it also has to do with my riding position. I know that I tend to stand up straight, oftentimes too straight for the way I'm supposed to stand, but I'm working on that because body position and whatnot. So this is going to be a lot busier. I normally don't come up here on a Sunday, so usually I have my pick of a spot to take a little break at and relax at. But it looks like today is going to be not that day where I have my pick of the litter in terms of places to chill. We'll go over here. All right, I'm gonna take a short break, guys, and hit the trail again. I gotta meet up with Dirt Panda Peter for lunch up in Idlewild. Haven't seen that guy in a long time. Shout out to Dirt Panda if you guys don't. Panda in the Dirt is his name of the actual YouTube channel. That guy's an awesome rider. Check his channel out. It's called Panda in the Dirt. Mainly he started off riding like adventure bikes and whatnot, but now he's more focused on enduro bikes. So he bought a 500 EXEF, KTM 500 EXEF. So check out his channel if you're interested in that type of bike riding. Does a lot of single track, a lot more technical stuff than I do, and it's probably more entertaining. So give him a follow. Tell him I sent you. Hopefully there's not a lot of cars out again, or they all left. There was a pretty big convoy, as you guys saw, coming up, and then while I was waiting there, another one rolled through. So it's definitely a lot busier here on the weekend than during the week. That is 100% certain now. So you got to really be mindful of your speed and just be aware and pay attention of what's ahead. And you guys please comment on the video. Let me know what you guys think of this GoPro angle. It's not very much of a difference. I just kind of angled it a little bit lower, so I'm hoping this footage is usable. If you're watching this video, obviously I decided it was. I deemed it as usable, but you guys will be the judge, the final judges, I guess. Try not to stand up too straight because that also doesn't help with the camera angle. Because I have the GoPro mounted on my chin. I've thought about possibly mounting it on my chest, but the problem with mounting on the chest is you guys don't see everything I see, and when you're sitting, I think the view is blocked by the windshield and everything else. I think I'm too short basically to have a chest mount, is really what it boils down to. Another beautiful day up here. Slight overcast. At first when I got up this morning and looked out in this direction, I thought it was probably gonna rain, possibly rain, and the forecast still shows as a slight chance of rain. But now that I'm out here, I doubt it. I mean, it might sprinkle if anything, but nothing too crazy, or nothing that's like would prevent me from coming out here and riding today. One thing I wanted to do today was ride this trail in reverse, so come back the other direction, but hey, squirrel. I just don't have enough time today, unfortunately, because I have a lunch meetup with Panda in the Dirt, and I haven't seen that guy in a long time. So yeah, it's nice to be able to catch up with that guy, see how he's doing, and see how everything's going with him. I want to also ride up Santa Rosa Truck Trail. I haven't ridden that thing in forever, and that's kind of I believe, in my opinion, it's a step up from this trail as far as difficulty goes. It's not that much more. There's a lot more loose rocks there, and a little bit more technical. There are some sharper turns there, sharper ascending turns, and some steeper climbs here and there. So I think in my opinion, it's a level above this trail here. The only thing I don't like about Santa Rosa Truck Trail that I love about this trail is it's pretty short. And it only goes there. It dead ends basically. It doesn't pop out anywhere. You just go up it, and then get to the top, turn around, and come back down the same way you went up. So kind of good and bad. I mean, if you don't have a whole lot of time, that trail is pretty good. SRTT, as I like to call it. But I really love this trail for a beginner to start off on and get used to riding dirt again, because it's not very technical. There's not a whole lot. I mean, there's not very much loose in terms of like loose stuff. There's not very much loose rocks except towards the end, and it's not. Those loose rocks are basically in a flat area, so you don't have to worry about climbing up a hill with loose rocks on it, or ascending or descending, I should say, a steep hill with loose rocks. Like SRTT has a couple areas that are like that. And I definitely give this a 2 out of 5 in terms of difficulty. But as far as like the fun factor goes, I give this in my opinion, it's an 8 out of 10, man. This trail is super fun, and as you guys can tell, I don't even ride fast on this trail, so I still have a lot more room to grow on it, right? I'll stop riding this trail, or at least not ride it as much, once I'm like, you know, really getting after it. When I get more experience, I should say. And I believe this goes this way, yeah. Up there goes to another campsite that's up at the top. But as I hone my skills and get more comfortable riding off pavement, then I'll start looking on Onyx for different trails and more challenging stuff. Because right now I feel like this is I still have a lot left to learn on this trail. As far as like body positioning goes, braking, and
and accelerating and whatnot. From this point on, it starts getting a little bit, start getting some rocks and looser stuff, but nothing to worry about really. I love this area right here, man. All these big trees, and this all got burnt down. I think they did either from a control burn, or I'm pretty sure it was that control burn I saw when I was gonna ride up here one day on the 1300. There's that lookout. Not stopping at it today. So as far as more upgrades for the F900, I'm pretty much done. Like I said before, I'm not gonna go full system exhaust on this bike. I think with the Aero mid-link pipe, it's plenty loud, in my opinion. Later on, obviously once my warranty expires, I will do some type of tune on it just to open it up, because these bikes come so restricted in California and, well, I guess all over the world due to Euro 5 emissions. So I want to just get a tune on it and open it up to its full capabilities. I'm gonna keep this bike as minimal as possible as far as the build's concerned. I'm not gonna do like a bunch of luggage on it like I did on the 1300 and go crazy on that, because I didn't even use the luggage. I ended up buying some Givy hard cases and top box and Givy racks, and I never even used that stuff. It was just on the bike. Just bought it just because I thought I would. So on this bike, I'm gonna try to keep it as minimal as possible. I might just add a rear rack so I can carry a tail bag if I ever do like some longer rides, get to some further out trails. But for the most part, I'm definitely gonna try to keep this build to a minimum. And let's be honest, man, stuff ain't cheap for motorcycles, dude. Especially when it comes to luggage, man. I mean, the good stuff is expensive, and the cheap stuff you don't want, because you end up buying it 3 or 4 times, and you might as well have bought the good stuff. So I'm a firm believer in buy once, cry once. It's better to buy one thing that's expensive and will last than to buy a cheap thing 5 or 6 times that'll fail on you. And that being said, there's a fine line. Obviously there's good companies like Tusk and Giant Loop that make excellent luggage on par with those big name brands like Moscow Moto and Kriega, that are just as good. They just don't look as nice, right? Like Kriega, I love their design language, and they make really cool looking bags. And honestly, that's probably the route I'm gonna go with the rackless system that they offer. But that'll be far into the future, very far into the future. For now, I'm just gonna enjoy the bike as I have it, and yeah, just ride, get seat time, save my money for tires. I go through tires like crazy. I put a lot of miles on my bike. On my 1300, when I traded it in, I had about close to 15,000 miles on that bike, and I only had it for a year. So yeah, I definitely ride my bikes a lot. I love going out of town, Love going on going out of town, going to the beach, going out to Los Angeles, eating at nice restaurants that I can't that I don't have locally. I love ethnic food. I love eating like Indian food and Ethiopian food and Armenian food and all that. And where I live, there's just not a very good variety of that stuff. So I like to go out to LA and try a different type of cuisine. And from where I live, LA is like 146, almost 200 miles. The beach isn't that bad. Oceanside from where I live, which is one of my favorite beaches. I mean, it's not that it's my favorite, it's just the closest, so it kind of defaults as my favorite because I don't have to ride 2 hours to get there. But Oceanside's only like an hour and 10, an hour and 30 from my house, depending on traffic and whatnot, and how fast I'm riding, obviously. But it's a cool beach, cool vibes. And that place gets packed on the weekends, so that's the only thing. This backside, I love the views back here. Look at that. Slow down right here so you guys can see this stuff. Check it out, guys. So beautiful, man. Such a scenic. That's another thing why I love this trail so much, is because just the views and the scenery back here, man, are amazing. Aside from it being pretty easy. One of these days, I want to go back and conquer Rouse Hill Road. I've read on Onyx the trail reports, and it shows that it's open now officially. When I went there, it was technically not open, so that should have been a warning to me not to go. But now it's officially open. There are no signs that say anything other than you know, that indicate you can't go down there. So one of these days I want to give it another go, man. It's just, oh man, I remember that thing. That thing is you know, I'm traumatized by that trail, guys. That trail did quite the number on me and my bike. I'm lucky I didn't really hurt myself bad on that trail. As many times as I fell and dropped the bike, I'm really lucky. You know, I do wear proper gear. Obviously, I have a good helmet, which really saved my head from a spill I took. I did hit a rock on it, and luckily the helmet did its job. But you know, wear gloves, I wear boots and everything else, so that probably had a lot to do with it. No, I know it had a lot to do with it. These adventure pants I have are BMW pants, and they have padding on the knees and shins and hips and back, or like lower torso, I should say, your belt area. Real high quality stuff. And then my BMW jacket also has padding everywhere on the, it's got forearm ones and elbow pads and a back pad, shoulder pads, so it's pretty good. I'm pretty good on protective gear. But yeah, that trail is just, it's a different animal than this. It kind of starts off pretty gingerly, kind of like this trail, but it gets gnarly real quick. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with my inexperience more than anything. I think that maybe if I were to go back on it now, I wouldn't find it as difficult because I have more experience now. And I think a lot of it I'm just like I said, I'm traumatized, and a lot of it is probably had to do with my inexperience. So yeah, I mean, who knows, man? I might try it again and think, what was I thinking before? You know, I was picking a lot of bad lines. And if you haven't watched my video, go back a few videos. And it's the one with the 1300 on the floor as a thumbnail. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking doing that, dude. Like, some of the lines I picked, so it's down this way. We'll go check it out, show you guys where it's at in case you guys watch my videos and want to know how to get there. See, like this kind of stuff, I would have ate crap right there. Even the road getting there is pretty sketch. This is the stuff where I should turn around right here, boys. But I kind of feel like checking it out. Steep hill right here. See, this is where line selection is key. On video it doesn't look like much, but for me that was actually a lot. I don't remember it being this far out. Like, I don't remember riding this far to get to the spot where it starts. Hopefully I'm not going down some gnarly stuff here. I mean, this could be the start of it, I don't know. But I don't remember going down this way to get to it. I'm actually not even looking forward to turning around and going back the way I just came from, to be quite honest with you guys. But some stuff looks more sketch the first time you do it, and then afterwards you're like, man, that wasn't bad. What was I afraid of? Alright, I'm not sure how far I'm willing to go. I gotta meet up with Peter and stuff, and yeah. Problem is, I don't really know how to turn around now. Hoping there's a spot. This spot looks alright right here to turn around on. Alright. Hopefully I don't drop my bike here, guys. Seen some videos of them doing this shit right here. Luckily I'm tall enough, or for me. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Whoop. Yep, that wasn't too bad. All right. Whew. That's the thing. You know, a lot of people tell you, oh, trail gets too tough, just turn around. Well, it's not that easy, guys. Not that easy. I mean, if you know how to elephant turn, honestly, it is easy. But I do not know how to elephant turn. So, I'm not sure where I turned off to get to that other trail of Rouse Show Road. I'm not sure what trail this is. I don't have a Garmin on me, and I don't have my maps out on my phone. But I'll have to look at it when I get home and investigate that. Because, yeah, I don't remember going down this way. This is that sketchy part, that downhill sketchy part that looked more sketchy going downhill than it does looking going uphill. And a lot of this stuff has to do with momentum too. I learned the hard way, where if you don't have good momentum, dude, you're really gonna fuck up. All right, guys, woo! Stoked on that. Back on Thomas Mountain Road. Little detour there, guys. I failed. Again, I'm not sure. I remember going down that way, but I don't remember it being that sketch right out the gate. Obviously, it's been like a year, so terrains change on these trails. Don't expect the trail you rode yesterday to be the same as today, especially if there's been heavy rains and lots of truck traffic, these Jeeps and 4x4s. After heavy rain, man, they create some pretty nasty ruts from trying to climb hills when it's muddy and whatnot. So just be conscious of that. You know, I like to think like you're never riding the same trail twice, even though it is technically the same trail, but the topography and the terrain changes, I should say. Not topography, but the terrain changes with weather and the amount of people that ride it. But one day I'll explore that when I got more time. And obviously, like I said, I get more comfortable on this bike. I'm still trying to learn basically the ropes. Relearning, I should say. I mean, I was never that good on the 1300 to begin with, but I was also, that bike's also a lot more challenging to ride for a beginner rider. So is this one to some extent. I mean, this bike isn't any lighter. I told you guys in the last video, if you guys watched it, that this bike realistically, it's only about 30 pounds lighter, which is nothing. You know, 30 pounds is like it's not that much of a weight difference. So this bike comes in at about 482, whereas the 1300 comes in at around 502, somewhere around there, wet weight. And I think that's another reason. So another complaint people have regarding the 900 is the size of the fuel tank. So this thing has like a I think 3.8, almost 4 gallons of fuel, which isn't a lot. So I average about, on a full tank, I average about 165, 170 miles. So that's one issue. If you're a guy that's going to be traveling in the middle of nowhere and plan on riding into remote areas, and you buy this bike, consider getting an external gas tank that you can carry fuel in. Rotox or something like that make some pretty good ones. And yeah, I will probably end up buying one in the future, just so I can have I don't have range anxiety, and if I do go out on epic rides or whatnot, I'm not really too worried about it. So that's the other downside of this bike, and I think that's the reason they did that, was to save weight. Obviously, you add more fuel, you're going to get more weight. So I think that was BMW's way of reducing the weight on this and not crossing over into the 1300 GS weight territory. That's another reason why, in my opinion, the Tenere, the Yamaha T7 is better than this bike, is the weight difference. So between this and 1300, it's about 30 pounds, give or take. Between this and the Tenere, it's like another 30 pounds. So down from the 1300, now you're at a total of 60 pound weight difference. Now 60 pounds, that's a pretty significant difference. I mean, you put 60 pounds in a backpack and tell you to go hike that, you're not gonna have a good time. So I mean, I could lose 30 pounds realistically and still be in decent shape. If I lose 60, I'm gonna look like a you know, like a sick person. So on the 1300, I had Moto Z Adventures on it, and I love those tires. I got a lot of miles out of them, and most of them were highway miles. I got like close to 9,000 miles out of those tires, man. They were, for being knobbies, those tires were awesome, and they handled great both on and off dirt. You know, on pavement, off pavement, they were great tires. Unfortunately though, I'm limited to tire sizes on this bike. Like I've mentioned it before, and that's another one of downsides that people don't like about this bike, that some people critique about it. I don't really care, but yeah, it'd be nice. I don't think it's that critical. Is that this has a 17-inch rear versus all other off-road or off-pavement adventure bikes. They have 18-inch rears, so you're kind of limited to your tire selection. Now, it's not too big of an issue for me because I don't live in a remote area where I can get stuff shipped, delivered to my house fairly easily. And there's a lot of, you know, it's not like 10 years ago now. You know, there's a lot of manufacturers making knobby tires and adventure tires, or 50/50s and, you know, whatnot, for a 17-inch wheel. I mean, the KLR 650 uses a 17-inch rear wheel, and it's regarded as, like, people love that bike, man. The desert donkey, or I don't know what they call it, the pig. But yeah, and no one seems to complain about that 17-inch rear. So this is more tore up than I last remembered it. Anyhow, yeah, no one complains about that having a 17-inch rear. So it's all subjective, you know. At the end of the day, it's all subjective. Some people just have their preferences, and I understand. I understand the logic behind an 18-inch rear, but I don't think it's like make or break on choosing a bike. And like I've said it before, I'm not pushing these bikes to their limits. I'm barely scraping the surface. So for me, it's plenty wheel to do what I need to do. Now, a 21-inch front wheel, on the other hand, I think that has a bigger impact, from everything I've read online, going off pavement more than having a 17-inch rear. Something about the way a 21 tracks in sand and in dirt that makes it basically the meta for riding off pavement, or the standard, I should say. I think it's so funny, I don't ever leave first gear, but in my opinion, I'm going plenty fast for my riding level. get out of first right here just to say I did. And then we're back into first. So yeah, riding Tromax Missions. I think these are awesome tires personally. I picked these tires because everybody... My recording stopped on the... What's going on here? Alright. I don't know what happened with my Insta, but it's... For some reason, it wasn't recording that last bit. I don't know how much it wasn't recording, but it said due to low SD card speed, which is weird because it's the SD card that the Insta 360 came with. So I don't know what's going on there. You know, Insta, get your stuff in order here. That's the part of recording videos that nobody really seems to remember, is capturing all this stuff, making sure your cameras are working. And yeah, I want to get a GoPro. I mean, not a GoPro. I have like two. I want to get a drone, man. A Mini 4K Pro specifically are the drones I'm looking at to capture stuff like this. You know, like, this would be the perfect spot to send a drone out and have it follow me. And I think it'll improve my channel significantly in terms of my content. Because those drone shots are epic. And like right here, look at this. I could have a drone follow me. And yeah, it'll make a very cool shot right here. So that's on my list of camera equipment to buy. At some point I also want to upgrade my audio setup and have like a separate dedicated mic. But I think the drone, in my opinion, the drone is more of a higher on the priority list to increase my content. Going to second here. Back down to first. It's pretty easy to shift. I like the position of the gear lever on this bike too. Like, it's like in the perfect position to shift gears. Wish I knew how to take those corners like those Chads do, where they just like whop and like break traction in the corner and then come out nice and fast, kind of like that, but not really. I'm having a lot of fun out here today, boys. Second gear. So this is the only section right here on Thomas Mountain Road that has a lot of loose rock. So you could always turn around up there if riding loose rock is an issue for you guys. Whoa. Gotta be careful there. That could have been bad. And my GoPro's not, or the Insta's not recording again. That's awesome. Oh, man, what's wrong with that thing, dude? Stop right here for a sec. What does that even mean? For some reason, my Insta doesn't want to record the back half of Thomas Mountain. Last time it recorded, but it recorded everything. I had the what's it called, the white exposure or whatever it is, the white something. Anyways, it was basically capturing everything in like a tint of blue, like a blue hue, and it was because I swiped right or something on a certain setting when I wasn't paying attention. And so yeah, I basically, the second half of my video, I only had my GoPro footage, which I better make sure this is recording. Looks like it is. Second gear. This is that sketchy little part here if you go down in the middle there. Pretty sandy little area. Same thing here. And my Insta stops recording again. That's awesome. Gotta figure that out. I don't know why it's doing that. Alright guys. Well, once again, you made it this far into the video. Thanks a lot for watching, boys. I'm gonna go that way, meet up with Peter, and I'll see you guys on the next one.